YouTube. Hey guys, today I'm gonna do a completely crazy video. I'm going to cost out the cost of the whole fish rack, where I have 120 gallons, 10-gallon tanks, power bars, the rack, everything. I'll tell you how much it costs to run it, including a dehumidifier. How much it costs to build this thing. Just a fun video in case you're really wanting a fish wall. I'm going to tell you exactly what it costs to build it. So I will start with showing you guys the fish wall. So the fish wall consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10-gallon tanks. I'll put in 7 because there will be a 7th tank in here. 2 5-gallon tanks, 1 20-gallon tank, 1 120-gallon tank. That's what the fish wall currently has on it. So I will start with the fish rack. The fish rack, all these costs will be in Canadian dollars right now. Hi Max, there's Max right here. We won't put him on, but he's having a little nap there. So anyway, each of these 55, each of these 10-gallon tanks is roughly $55. So you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks. They're roughly $55. Now the 5-gallon tanks are not any cheaper. I'll say $50 on those. The 120-gallon tank is a little bit more. I'll say $70. The big tank, the 120, is quite a bit more. I'll say that's roughly $300 for that tank. The stand itself is a nice metal stand. That's about $200. LEDs, for the most part, they come with the tanks. The canopies come with the tanks. So I'm not counting those in. There are sponge filters in each of these tanks. This tank unfortunately has some green water. I will be changing that tonight. It's the only tank I have right now that I'm still working on to get rid of the algae in there. Let's get back to the filter costs. The filter costs for the little tanks, for the 10-gallon tanks, are roughly, let's see here, I would say roughly $15. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. There's a bigger one in here. That's roughly $20, and a really big one in here that's $30. Alright, so now that we have the filters, let's and the tanks cost out plus the stand. At the top, I have some air pumps. And you can see I have a lot of tubing that comes into each tank in the back. And the air pumps, I have, let me see, I have several, but I can't really show you right now. But the big one at the top is roughly $130, $150, I would say. There's several other ones. There's about 7 other ones, I would say, that are roughly $15 to $20. I'd say $20 average price on those. So 7 that are $20 and one that's $130 to $150. I would say I got it on sale, but I'll give you the real price is roughly 150 bucks for the really big one. And the reason why I have this really expensive air pump at the top is because it has to um, push down the air all the way to the bottom of the last tank here, because I really wanted to keep all my air pumps right at the top. Now you see I have a power bar as well for every single tank pretty much. Plus I have several large power bars on the side, I think 3 of them. So the big ones are roughly 20 bucks. The small ones are 10 bucks. So if you count how many tanks I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that require a power bar, that's $80 for the little white power bars, and about $60 for the big black power bars. One more really expensive thing is the dehumidifier for the whole tank, for the whole fish room. This is about $400 to $500. I'd say $500. Tubing is cheap. The tubing I run in here, I'll say there is $1 worth of tubing that goes into every single tank. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bucks in tubing. I have a hose that I run across the fish, across here all the way up here. That actually costs quite a bit. It's a specialty hose from Fluval. That's 20 bucks per hose. That's roughly $40 in hose, in this black hose, simply because I love the ending nozzles here. So that's roughly 40 bucks. Tie wraps. I have a bunch of tie wraps. I think I use 3 packs to tie everything in place. So tie wraps cost an additional maybe 10 bucks. I'm not counting the decorations into the cost, and I'm not counting the fish prices into the cost. But water, overall, water would be like, I would say 20 bucks a month for water, if you do a lot of water changes. And electricity, I'd say 20 bucks a month as well. There's all kinds of smaller tubing on top of that I use. Lots of external tubing that I connect up to this. So I'd say 20 bucks in tubing that I have everywhere. The big hose here that I use is probably another $20 to $30. I have a water pump in the bucket that's roughly $400 for the big water pump. The bucket is what, 5 to 10 bucks? I say 10 bucks. So I do have a water pump in every tank almost. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tanks that have water pumps that are they cost me close to $30 per water pump. And I think, let's see, is there anything else? Fishnets. Not as cheap as you would think for fishnets. I'd say I have about 20 bucks in fishnets all around everything. So that's most of it. Fish food for these guys, they go through quite a bit. On an average, I'd say 20 bucks a month in fish food as well. And that's being very conservative. Is there anything else we're missing? I think that's pretty much the whole cost of everything. from tubing to fish tank costs. I'm not putting in the price of the LEDs for the big tank and the other tanks, but they're quite expensive. If you really wanted to put in prices for the LEDs, probably like $150 for that tank, and because it doesn't come with the lighting, I had to buy it separate. And if you want to throw in the lighting for this, that's another probably $20-30. And more or less, I think we got it cost out. So the whole cost of the fish tank, all wall of fish altogether, adds up to now you know how much it costs to set this up. Thanks for watching, you guys. Good luck with your fish tanks.